dream night if you're an angler. Just super cool when you get lucky sometimes and get right in the middle of all that stuff. Wow, dude, did you guys see that one? Oh my goodness, man. Was that? Got him right there. Wow, man. That is what summer walleye fishing is about. It doesn't get. Alrighty, audio check, check, check. Video check, check, check. We got that one going. Normally I film off the back, off one of these YOLO-Tech things, and I went to take the ram mount off to put the camera on it, and the whole mount just fell in the water to start today off. So great start so far to the video, but welcome back to another one. Where are we? What are we doing? Well, it's kind of like late afternoon into evening now, and we probably have enough time to showcase a bite, which is just incredibly fun to fish, right? Very aggressive summertime walleyes. Did a little bit this in the last video where I kind of showcased the new Minn Kota Trova Quest, and then obviously got a mountain of questions wanting more content on this, so we better film it today. The goal is to get out here in the basin, target some of these open water roamers, and kind of just catch them primarily, hopefully, on this right there. Now I'll have a search bait, and I'll probably have Castmaster spoon kind of ready to go, but this bait fished for suspended walleyes might be one of the coolest, most fun ways to catch a walleye, in my opinion. And you got to imagine, you know, it's summertime. Look at all the ski boats, just pontoons going by. There's another guy skiing right here. A lot of these fish push out to the middle of the lake, and we filmed a thing casting search baits on this, which is essentially a wade forward spinner, a couple weeks ago. Now, you could do the same thing a lot of times when you see a preference change from fish that don't want that anymore to start fishing something very aggressive. And that's kind of what I really hope to showcase today. So with that being said, we're going to jump up on the bow, and we're going to get the Mega Live rocking and rolling. And before I even start filming a bunch of Mega Live stuff, let's preface it by saying this. If you're not a forward-facing Sonar fisherman, these areas can be trolled, and we've trolled for years and caught fish out here, right? But with forward-facing sonar, it opens up a casting opportunity. Is one more effective than the other? I don't know. You guys tell me, right? You know, it's kind of how you want to fish. But essentially what we're going to do is hopefully sharpshoot some of these basin fish up high in the water column. So stay tuned. If I can get 3, 4, 5 bites tonight, I'll be very pleased. They should be bigger fish, and it should be fun if we can get it done. But we don't have a lot of time, so stay tuned. Let's get it rocking and rolling. Got him right there, man. Wow, that never gets old. That is incredible, dude. It's gonna be a big walleye too, and he absolutely launched that hyper rattle. I was kind of coming in real fast, so I kind of put on the brakes for a second. I could see kind of roughly which angle that fish was at, made that quick cast, tracked my bait down to him, and holy cow, is that ever a cool way to catch him, huh? And look at that big angry guy. I cannot even see the bait, so you know it's down there. Oh man, how cool is that, man? That is incredible. That is hands down my favorite way to catch a walleye right there. See one over basin, chuck a big aggressive bait at it, and get a big aggressive bite. Holy cow, that is cool. We're gonna do a little surgery to get this fish popped off, and we'll give you guys a look here. That was fun. Look at that guy, huh? That is what summer walleye fishing is about, man. Doesn't get any better than that. And almost no matter where you go, this big fish basin bite is happening right now. It's one of the things that makes August so special. You can take a lot of these areas you used to have to cast or troll and turn it into a casting bite for some big walleyes like that. That fish is all probably 27 inches right in there. Let's let him go. Holy cow, man. Well, oh, Angry too. Good as it gets. No words to describe how fun that is. Got him right there. Wow, man. That was a cool one too. Too unreal, man. Oh, he's got that hyper rattle right on the outside of his mouth. The nicest part about that hyper rattle is it marks so hard on the graph. I don't know if I was turning a little bit there. And we're sitting in 58 feet of water right here. You know, the fish was down about 20 is kind of what it looked like. On the old hyper rattle. We'll scoop him up here. Oh no, we got him. He's in the bag. Man, it's just speechless every time you catch one doing that. And you know, there's just kind of seemingly been this last week or so. And you see this happen a lot. Just a big time difference in preference of kind of what these fish really want to kind of eat. And you know, it's like we were doing so good on a lot of those search bait, spinner rig style of presentations, you know, kind of for a lot of July. And now it's like they just want something snapped and aggressive. And you're going to find no complaints from me if I can put on that hyper rattle, snap it around some big fish like this, and catch a pile of walleyes. I mean, that is just way too cool, man. Just a handful, too. See you later, mama. And you guys know me. We're fishing relatively clear water today. So I got old purple on here once I get it out of the net. So we're using good old purple right now, which is just obviously a clear water standby. But this type of presentation, it does seem like, I feel like I just put purple on out of habit, but a lot of times it does seem like color doesn't matter quite as much for this very snappy style of fishing. Now, there's another one on the graph right now. I don't know if this is the same one I just let go. That's just chilling down there now. We'll try to walk the bait into him here. And it seems like you'll kind of get to a point where they'll kind of start responding. This one's just not doing much. Oh, there he just started doing something. Watch this. He's kind of hunting it a little bit. Oh, he kind of sunk down. You guys see that? Oh. Playing with him, man. That was funny. I just walked back up here and that fish was just sitting there. Wonder if we can just go real still here. Oh no, dude, he just had it for a second. Wow, is that one really playing around? Wow, dude, did you guys see that one? Oh my goodness, man. Was that ever a cool interaction? Fish was down about 27 feet. It's just another stud too. That might be some of the coolest mega live footage in which I've ever captured. Now we just gotta catch the fish. And when you kind of get in an area where there's a few of these fish around, where they're balled up, you know, sometimes it's around bait, sometimes it's just seemingly no reason why they're out here, but wow, dude, another big fish. We'll give you guys a look at this one. That was a cool deal. I mean, holy cow, dude. Is that a cool way to fish? That hyper rattle is just an enormously powerful way to catch a walleye, and this is prime time for it. Whether you're doing it on structure or off structure like I'm doing today. I mean, dude, it's obviously just it's the way to go, right? It's just so ridiculously powerful. We'll let that guy go. I mean, just big fish after big fish after big fish, man. There's not really too much else to say about that cool interaction. I got the earphones in because I'm supposed to be getting a phone call here soon, but wow, that was cool, man. To catch one, stand up on the bow, oh look, it's another one. Drop down to him and get him. Doesn't get any better than that. So I'm sure it's probably pretty clear kind of how we're working these baits, but we'll kind of do a demo anyways. Now, the important part with these, since they sink so fast, is knowing where your bait is in the water column, right? That is solely, I mean, that's what the Mega Live does best, right? So obviously normally we find a fish out here. Now you want to keep it up above their head. So if I see a fish, you know, 30 feet out, boom, cast right there. Let's say that pot of bait's a fish. Then you can see that bait. I'm snapping it essentially right out in front of that pot of bait right now. And you can see that hyper rattle shows up just real well. And a lot of times it actually kind of like, you can see a lot of times when I yank it, it'll actually kind of like go back out that way, right? It doesn't just like sit there continuously working to the boat. It does a lot of this like popping out, popping this way, popping back this way. And then the goal is to generally keep that bait above the fish's head. Now I have less luck doing things like this out here where you're just really cracking it, because a lot of times then the bait's climbing too much in the water. So you kind of want to have this cadence that's almost like a soft snap, where it just kind of walks that bait almost in place. Not a lot of reeling going on. So I'll get the bait out there and just do a lot of like this. And I like to keep my forearm kind of on the rod like this, because it helps me when I do go to crack again, not to get completely limp wristed, right? If a big walleye does decide to bite. Now most of these fish will bite on the fall, and you want to slackline the fall a little bit, because if you do this, the bait's just kind of popping up and then gliding very slowly. This is all like a triggering supersonic speed bite. So I kind of like to just kind of have a controlled fall on that bait, so it's essentially falling under slack. And then a lot of times you'll just go to yank up again. You'll see that fish dart on the Mega Live, and you'll just, you know, boom, there's obviously a loaded weight on there. Now this is obviously the biggest hyper rattle. You can fish the smaller one, but in this situation, these fish are obviously feeding on big stuff. The bigger the bait, the harder it marks, the more it triggers fish in from a distance. And you gotta imagine, when these fish get out off structure like where we are, they're just running around looking for bait. And we've seen, you know, you see a lot of bait. Some of it, you know, maybe up high in the water like that, some big schools down below. I mean, you see a ton of bait out here. So those fish are kind of actively hunting bait. They're out here to feed. So you want something big, obnoxious, and snappy that stands out from a lot of that other stuff. And one reason I think these get so good in like late summer is because you start having so much bait in the system. When they start looking at a lot of spinner rigs, and that's the beauty of forward facing, and just following, just kind of lazily following. Then once in a while they'll get one to just kind of eat the tail a little bit. That's a good indicator those fish are not triggered by that bait, right? So you have something like this on, where you cast it out there on a fish, get it down, you know, 3, 4, 5 feet over their head, start cracking it. It's a very triggering style of fishing when there's a lot of bait in the system like there is this time of year. So all there really is to say about this bait is, you know, extremely powerful. If you guys have watched this channel for a long enough time, you guys know how much I absolutely love these Acme Hyper Rattles. I'll link them down below for anybody interested, but that paired with this style of fishing is absolutely just lethal for big summertime walleyes. Wow, man, thing was just sitting there for a second. I kind of lost the fish as I was turning around, and the thing was sitting there, and all of a sudden I just felt whack. Look at that one, man. Just another super nice walleye right there, dude. I mean, we are having a ball out here, that is for sure. Hopefully that thing's rolling. There we go, man. We're definitely in a little area that's got him now, huh? There's no doubt about that. This is the smallest one of the day, and he's probably a 23 incher, I'd say. There we go, guys. Another nice walleye here. Snap jigging out in the deep. How's it get better? Let's get him back. Wow, man. I just don't know how it gets any better. He's probably a 21 incher. There he goes. Back down. That was an interesting one. That was like I was snapping it, saw the fish. I had to turn real quick. One of those times you wish you had the deucer on the trolling motor so you can track them real tight to the boat like that. And I kind of backed up and I was like, oh, I know he's close. Then all of a sudden, as I'm holding my rod like this, I just felt the line go boonk. Fish on. Now I can tell you guys right off the bat, I guarantee you I can find this question on YouTube. And it is a very valid question. So thank you for asking it. Let me pull up YouTube. How do you know where to start in a large basin with relatively no structure? We just shot. The short answer is it's tough to know right off the bat, right? It always takes a little bit of time and driving around. Not a style of fishing where it's just like, oh, here's 20 fish, let's just fire their way at this whole area. Not like that. But we did just spend, or I spent a while, probably a week and a half ago, filming a great piece for the Walleye Now. I'm talking about where I look to find basin fish at this time of year. And Mitch watched it, uploaded it, liked it. We kind of have like a dual buddy system to make sure everything we upload to Walleye Now is on point. But that video, click Let's Go Fish at the bottom of the page once you're on the Walleye Now app. Then click on Summer, and then click on Natural Lake or Reservoir, and that video will be right under there. It's like called Basin Location Breakdown or something like that. But it does a phenomenal job of kind of walking you through my thought process, what I look for as far as structure goes, to get off of, maybe all that little stuff that kind of helps narrow down something like a big intimidating basin like this to fish. So if you're kind of curious on location, I would 100% get over and watch that video, and it should narrow it down pretty good for someone who's kind of looking to start this kind of basin fishing style. Got him right there, man. Wow. So unbelievably cool. He's really chasing that one, trying to catch up to him. There's literally Cisco's jumping around me. And I'm watching walleyes and muskies and probably pike and smallies just crash bait balls out here. And it's like the perfect situation, right? Literally couldn't get any better. This is a dream night if you're a basin walleye fisherman. Oh man, I put my net way back here. Come here, bud. Oh, the net is just all tangled around everything. Come here, buddy. Oh, and just another stud daddy. I'm speechless, man. This is like a perfect evening. There's pleasure boats all around, as you guys have probably seen on this video. But when you get in this magical hour of the day, and it's like the basin just lifts up, everything out here just goes crazy. And it's kind of like you got to get lucky, be in the right place, right time a little bit, but a lot of it's kind of recognizing the right signs that are happening throughout the day, I think. And that right there, my friends, is incredible. It's just been an unbelievable afternoon into evening. Kind of watched a lot of those fish get higher and higher and higher in the water column as the day went on. And it just turned into utter chaos near the surface towards the evening, which it is now. And that is just, I mean, you can't script it any better. If I had a musky rod with, I'd probably catch a couple of those or some huge pike. This is just where this big life in the basin is 100% happening right now. And that is just insane, man. I'm having the time of my life out here. Go eat some Cisco's, you big basin walleye. She's angry. There she goes back down. Too cool, man. Needless to say, that is going to do it for tonight. Incredible fishing, right? Incredible afternoon, evening on the water. I don't know, I mean, it wasn't like it was super fast action outside of those one where I was just like, oh, look, there's another fish right there. But a lot of it was just, as the day went on, you could see the bait just rise up, rise up, rise up. And all of a sudden it was like, I just got in an area where all that stuff was happening and fish were just sucking up to it and closer to the surface, and it was just a feeding frenzy. And I don't know how much of it got on the graph, but for like the last 2 hours, it's actually been harder to catch fish than it was before that. Because I'd mark one, and then next to a ball of bait, and all of a sudden the fish, you'd just see a lightning bolt through that school. Like I'd cast out at the fish, and it'd just be, and they were just flying around hunting, man. So it was almost tougher to get a bait in front of and really chase those fish down, but I mean, just crazy. And I'm literally watching some Cisco's flip like 10 feet off the side of my boat right now. Dream night if you're an angler. Just super cool when you get lucky sometimes and get right in the middle of all that stuff. Obviously all those fish pretty much came on the hyper rattle. I had two kind of goofy oddball smallmouth that I caught earlier that were on something else. I forgot at this point what it even was, but I don't know if those will even make the video. You guys know the hyper rattle. It's a killer. I'll link it down below just for anybody maybe it's their first time watching my content. It is a summertime, fall. I mean, really it's an all-season destroyer, but it really excels from midsummer into the fall, I would say. So, phenomenal bait, phenomenal evening. Appreciate you guys watching this one. I have no words left to say. If you like this channel, please subscribe to it. Drop some comments down below, and thank you guys for allowing me to do what I do every day. So your guys' support means a lot to me. So thank you guys for watching. If you're not yet, please subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. We'll see you next time.